Let me know if you can hear the mic. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. How's the sound? Can you hear me? Okay. Welcome in, everyone. Is it okay? Yeah, I can see your comment. I did tap it. Is it okay? It sounds great. Okay, thank you. Just checking the sound. Sound check. If everyone could share it out, let me do the MargeC. Hi, how are you, Tanja? How are you? It's so good to see you. Yes, I could see your well, I see you saying, can you see my comment? That's all the comments I see. I don't know what else you're writing. That's all I'm saying. Can you see my comments? I did tap the mic. I tapped it twice, Chris. Everybody's saying it's fine. I tapped it. I answered you. Everybody's saying the mic sounds good. Tandre, how are you? The sound's not coming through the mic. Let me check the... If it's not coming through the mic, then there's something wrong with the mic. There's nothing I could do then. Hey, Paige, welcome in. I don't know. I think because I'm using an extender. Let me try not to use the extender. Let me try to go direct. Hold 1 second, please. I'm going to try to go direct with it. If not, we're going to cut the mic tonight. Let me know how this sounds. I know there was no sound. I shut it off. Yeah, I know. There was no sound. I shut it. Is this better? The other one wasn't working. That sounds better. How's it if I tap it? I think because I was using an extender, the extender wasn't working. Is it good? It's working now? Okay, I'm going to use the new one. Okay, welcome in. All these mics. So many mics. I get to hear the tap. Did I blow out your ears? I'm kidding. Swipe right. Why are they saying TikTok's like give him? It's saying swipe right. Why? We're good, TikTok. Oh, we got a call already.
This is Global Telly.
1 second.
You have a prepaid call from your baby boy. An incarcerated individual at
Your baby boy.
Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. And your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link. California.
Well, hello.
And your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will
Hi,
not be
Cole.
charged for this call. To accept this call, say
How are
or
you?
dial 5 now.
I'm good. Nice to meet
Thank you
you.
for using Global Tel Link.
Well, you too. How about you?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get Keith in here.
Oh, okay. I heard you guys laughing. That's my next door neighbor. I'll give him a bang.
I was laughing because I accepted a call. It said your baby boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's from a movie, when the son calls from jail to his dad, who's a lawyer. He says it's the day before. That's what I used as a joke when I did the recording.
That's why I was laughing because my chat was all like, "What? What's going on?" I was like, "Okay."
Oh. Yeah, sorry. It's a pre-recorded thing. It's set in stone. I can't change it.
No, that's all good. We were just we're getting a kick out of that. They said, "Tell them we love it. Tell them we love it."
Okay. Thank you.
You're good.
So, I've never done anything like this, so you may have to be gentle with me. It's my first.
Be gentle with you. Don't worry about it. We got you.
You'll get comfortable with it.
That's right.
Yeah, once it opens up. Yeah, once it opens up, conversation starts flowing. You'll get into it.
That's right. And then I got tonight is just a mess, Keith. Then I got Tommy here. He's like Marge twice because I'm in the. We're on TikTok with Charge Would Change, like the full Charge Would Change page. But then I have MargeC up in the box because I'm just like, you bring in more people that way.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So I could bring in people from my makeup page too. So I'm on my Charge Would Change, but then I'm on my makeup page also. So I brought myself up in the box. See how good I'm getting, Keith?
Yeah, you are. We're doing makeup too then, right?
We're not doing makeup. I did my makeup today earlier, but I put up. I'm up here twice because I got just enough phones over here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually on. I'm on 4 devices. What's that?
Call in?
I spoke to Todd. I spoke to Todd a little while ago.
Yeah.
He said he's going to come on.
I know he's working.
He's going to be on TikTok. He's going to join me up in the box.
Okay.
Yeah, he just called me, and he's also reaching out to Garcia. Al, is it?
Al.
Al's going to join us.
Albert, yeah, Albert.
Yeah. He said he was going to reach out to him.
Okay.
Yes, I just spoke to him about, I want to say 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today's a long day.
I know you're like,
Yeah, it's a busy day.
You're working so hard.
Yeah, it was a busy day. I mean, I got a nap in, but still, it was a busy day.
You're napping? How dare you? Tommy, I send you an invite. It's up to you if you're ready. Tommy's here with us.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Tommy. I confused you there, didn't I?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
I'm keeping you on your toes, Tommy.
That's good.
That's right.
Hey, Daddy.
Is Cole's mom listening?
What's that?
Yeah, I'm here. Is Jeff's mom listening?
Cole's here.
Is his mom listening?
Oh, what's his mom's name? Is your mom listening?
Oh no, I didn't even think to tell her.
You didn't tell her? Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is it like recorded? She can watch it back.
It's live, but I do so when TikTok ends, it does end, but I do upload it, and then I could I put it on the on YouTube, because TikTok just ends them really quick. But I do download it on TikTok. I mean on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube afterwards.
Okay, I'll tell her to go.
Or I could also send her, if she has an email, I could send her I could send it to her directly. Either way.
Yeah, I'll just text it to you.
Okay. Whichever's easier.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't even think.
Ruth, every live that I do on Thursdays or Fridays, with my co-host Keith, they're all on Charge with Change, and the link is in my link tree.
Yeah.
You go right to Charge with Change on YouTube. Every live that we do is on YouTube. Every single live, and you could actually go through. My link is in my bio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was telling Keith how much I like that. The name, that Charge with Change. Is
Yes.
powerful.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining. And MargeC, thank you so much. So my friend MargeC and Matt came through last night. They did that commercial I got last minute, because Katie's out this week, and they pulled something. She never did one before, but she's in the chat right there. Thank you so much for coming through. I'm telling you, everybody comes together and pulls something off for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
How it works.
Yep.
That's how
Did
it
you
works.
see that, Cole? Did you like that? The one I sent last night or early this morning?
Yeah, I saw it. I looked at it around 4 o'clock. I didn't have headphones in. I just watched it.
Yeah, I didn't send it to you till about 2 o'clock this morning, because they didn't finish it up, but it was the last minute that we got it together, because the girl who usually does it, she's out this week, and we usually have it done by Monday, but she's out, so someone offered to do it for me, and they got it done like what? It was 2 o'clock this morning. I sent it to you.
Yeah, it was cool. It was interesting to see my name on something like that.
Right? We got your name up there. Hey, Dan.
I saw it.
Yep. But so Keith, I'm still looking for Todd. I don't see Todd in here yet. You know what? Let me share it out to him.
This call and
I'm going
your
to share it to
telephone
him.
number
Just
will be
make sure
monitored and recorded.
because he told me he's going to be in under his name. Let's see if I can share it to him. I mean, I shared it out. Let me see if if he gets it. I send him the link and everything. He knows we're going to be, on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he works. I don't know what time he's getting off work, but I know he has weird hours too. So.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
not weird, but normal hours. But so we'll see. I know he's off between 5 and 7 anytime, but he said he could pretty much jump on at any time. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm just making sure I got this shared out. So if everyone else could share it out as much as you can, I would appreciate it.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm
told,
letting
I
everyone
told
know in the
Cole
chat to
how
share
we call
out
in. I told Cole how we call in too, so how we hang up and call in at the same time.
Oh,
Once
okay.
we do get started. So he
Right.
knows, yeah.
And so user 707, you're saying I'm watching you live. I don't know your name. Is it, if you want to tell me who you are, that you're Todd. Todd, okay, so you're not under your name. That's why I didn't know who you were. That's why I asked you. So Todd's here. You're under just a generic name? So that's why I didn't know who you were. You're not here under your name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just says user and it's random numbers. So
Tell Todd he can use his real name. He ain't got one no more.
no, I know. I thought he told me he was in under his name. You would have to just change your name, but yeah, he did say he was under his name. That's why I'm sitting here looking for his name and it wasn't here. Yes, you don't have. No, I don't know how this works. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You can use. Yeah, you're under. You at least you're on here. I can help you anytime after this. You know, I can help you change it another time. I'll send you a request to come up in the box. So MargeC, that's me too, and Tommy's up here. So I'll send you a request. You could accept it.
This call and your telephone
And you
number
could come
will be
up in the
monitored
box.
and
You don't have to
recorded.
put your camera on. You just stay. You could just keep it like that if you want.
This call and your telephone number will be
There you
monitored
go.
and recorded.
All you have to do is to talk is take your mic off when you accept it. Here you go.
I'll call you back.
Okay. Todd?
Yeah.
All right, there he is. Keith.
Am I on camera?
No, you're not on camera.
How do you get on camera?
You want to be on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You have to hit. Oh, wait. Oh, do you have to have so many followers? Let me see. I don't know if we could bring you on. Let me see if I can. You might have to have. Oh, do you have to have so many followers, everyone? Here's Tommy. Tommy's on camera. Everybody go follow user 707. Let's see if we can get him some followers to bring him on camera. He's legit. Trust me. He's legit. We know him. He wants to be.
Now link, you have a prepaid call from
is foreign to me and Cole.
an
We have no
incarcerated
idea what you're
individual
talking
at
about.
the present
He doesn't, Keith.
California.
Yeah, we just called.
Okay.
We just called.
Here we go. I followed him. Let's go follow him. I think we should let him.
Yeah.
Wait,
Thank you for using Global Calling.
so wait, I think I should let him. He clicks the video camera. Okay. Todd, click the video camera. Do you see the camera on your end?
Let me see.
Do you see a video camera if you click it?
No, I don't. I don't see a video camera. I pressed on the video and then it says save.
Touch your face on the screen where your face should be, and it'll pop up, and you'll see 4 icons at the bottom.
Yeah, there's like a friend one, the microphone, and some cupcake or some other stuff, but I don't see no camera.
Oh, you might not be able to get on there.
Yeah.
Wait,
No camera.
No, why he has only 6 followers? I think don't you have to have like at least? Don't you have to have a certain amount of followers? I think you do.
Oh, I got a lot. I got a lot of bots following me.
Yeah, you do, Tom.
A lot of
He needs a certain number of followers. I think 100 now. You need at least 100 followers.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It used to be 1,000.
Wow.
Now it's only they dropped it to I think it's 100.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I've never really been on TikTok. Like I would go on there and then I'd go on Instagram too, and it's like I never really stayed on there, you know. I kind of like deleted them a couple times already since I've been out.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's probably why. I know my girlfriend. She's got a gang of followers. She does videos and all kinds of stuff. So I know she's killing it as far as followers go.
Oh, okay.
I can't use hers.
I was going to say you could have used her account. I got a couple of accounts because, like, I'm charged with change, and that's me too up there, MargeC. That's also my account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they say behind every man there's a popular woman, so.
I know it. Yeah.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
All right.
All right, we'll call back right now, and then we'll get rolling.
All right. So have Cole hang up again too.
Yeah.
All right. So Cole, we're gonna have you hang up though. Keith wants you to hang up again and call back together.
Oh, he wants me to hang up?
All right. No, not you. Yeah, right now, Cole. Not you, Todd. All right, Cole. Yeah. All right. Bye. No, just the guys that are calling in, so that I only accept the calls together, so that I'm not accepting these calls.
They can't go. They can't get on live video or nothing like that either.
No, they can't get on social media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Keith Erickson.
an incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call.
Cole's like, I was like, when I got his message, I was like, whoa, that was funny.
Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Okay. Now we're just waiting for Cole. So Keith, I know you're keeping busy, right? You haven't stopped. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Today was a long day. We had a lot going on today with we had a Bill Glass event here where the ministry brought a few Harleys on the yard, motorcycles, so they came and did a little ministry thing, and it was cool. And then Angel showed up with Christy from Compassion Prison Project to pick up the dog, and then
okay.
yeah, it was just busy. And then we had the dog meeting, the weekly dog meeting, so it was busy.
Yeah.
So we did training. Then I had to trade in my laptop this morning. They issued us new laptops in education, so they're not as durable, but they're faster and they're more.
So you got new laptops? You didn't get the tablets, or?
No, it's just laptops for college.
Oh, okay, for college. Okay. So just
waiting on Cole?
We're waiting on Cole, yeah. Yeah. I spoke to Vanessa last night.
You got in St. Louis?
Yes, she is. She texted me. She was heading to her hotel when it was about 1 o'clock. On my time was 1 o'clock. So it was 10 o'clock. I always forget the time difference.
You see the video of my painting at Alcatraz?
I didn't see it yet. I didn't see it. Oh, wait a minute.
A whole bunch of people from ARC went to Alcatraz this weekend.
Oh, really?
Number will be monitored.
Yeah, I was invited, but I was unable to attend.
Oh.
Okay.
Only because I'd have to get like another pass.
Oh.
They invited me on a Friday to go on Saturday, and I was like, well, you guys got to give me at least 2 weeks heads up.
Yeah.
What's that?
Wait, Tommy, do you have something on? Is there, because I hear feedback.
I'm driving.
Oh.
Driving.
I thought I heard something.
Yeah, you hear the road.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm not driving. I'm in the passenger seat.
Oh, okay.
Down the road.
Paul still hasn't called back?
He still didn't call back. It's strange.
So what are we going to cover tonight? Like steps 1, 2?
Yeah, no, we're going to give well, it's going to be a 3-week segment, so we're going to open up, we're going to talk about, just like a brief synopsis of,
I have
what
global
CGA is,
talent.
how it covers, the umbrella, it covers, just the overall lifestyle addiction, it's not emphasis on, substance use. We'll talk about the OCP, influences, beliefs, mannerisms, habits. We might get into a step or something, but I also have people from outside CGA also coming up next week, so men and women that are formerly incarcerated. So,
All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk about.
Okay, Cole.
We might jump into one of the steps. Is he there?
Yeah, Cole's here now. Yeah, Cole just called in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be off track. I'm gonna have to call back real fast because otherwise we're gonna be off track.
All right, go ahead. All right, he's gonna call right back.
It didn't go through the first time. The second time it was different.
That happens sometimes. Yeah. Tommy, in between, we might have to mute because it sounds like there's a lot of wind. Yeah, we might have to mute. There sounds like a lot of wind. That's all. Yeah, so we could hear Keith better. There we go, because so we have it.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Keith Erickson.
an incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5. Thank you for using Global
Hey,
Tel Link.
Margie, welcome.
Okay.
Okay. So we're all here now.
Guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. My name is Keith Erickson. I'm here with Tommy Traughber, Todd White, and Jeffrey Brooks. Jeff is here with me at Pleasant Valley. Tommy and Todd are formerly incarcerated lifers that have been out. I think Tommy's been out almost 2 years, Tommy.
Tommy, 2 years?
This call
Yeah,
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Just over 19 months.
19 months.
Okay, I know Todd's been out for at least a little over a year, Todd. Maybe a year.
Todd? How long were you out, Todd? Oh, he dropped. Something happened. His dropped. He'll come back a little over a year.
So the topic of discussion for the next 3 weeks is CGA, which is Criminals, Gangs, and Anonymous. Before we get into a little history of where it was originated, I do want to talk about what CGA actually is as an umbrella of self-help group. The emphasis is on the lifestyle addiction. It's not just NA addiction or alcohol addiction. It's an emphasis on the overall lifestyle itself, the criminality and gangs. And it does umbrella, again, like I said, it's not just emphasis on NAA, but it does cover that. And it is a recruited program here within the CDCR and the prison system. And it has been around a long time. One of the original founders was, in fact, a former gang member who was incarcerated. He passed away. And he is one of the founding fathers of the program. So before we get into the CGA, before I start talking about it, I want to pay homage to him by reading something, his own words, before we get into it, because, like I said, it wouldn't be here today without him. So his name is Richard M., and what I'll do is I'll read just a couple things that he is taking one of the handouts. What is not changed is not changed. What we can change, we will benefit from. Change is not pretending. It is not a demand. It is a process, a privilege. It is self-improvement. We have the ability to change many things, but most important for us, we have to change our attitude. We have to believe we are worth the effort, that the only real enemy has been ourselves holding us back. No one can cause us to fail. We put ourselves in the position to fail. Friends do not control our right and freedom to make choices and decisions. We allow ourselves to be used as puppets or robots. Our lives are each important, and we have the ability to remove the handcuffs and free ourselves from the most dangerous place, which is in our minds. Recovery represents change. Change represents peace and freedom. It's yours through CGA. Why do we think the way we do? We normally think a certain way following traditions, which are beliefs passed down to us from others that influence our beliefs. We also think a certain way based on our experiences with people in different places, doing different things, good or bad, as we go through life. If we have experienced more pain, anger, or more failures than joy, happiness, and success, then we begin to feel less confident and insecure about ourselves and individuals. It's easy to give up if we feel life has no real meaning or true purpose. We all need good, strong encouragement and support to grow as healthy, complete persons. If we receive more put-down comments and harsh, threatening remarks or opinions, we normally rebel or lash out. It's good knowing we have the power to change how we think and what we think through CGA recovery. And that's what CGA is. It's a recovery. It's a 12-step. We will get into some of the steps throughout the next 3 weeks. First and foremost, we will talk about, our personal attachment to the lifestyle addiction. I myself am a former gang member, drug user, criminal, liar, cheater, a long list of character defects that I'm not proud of. But in my recovery, I've learned to embrace them and identify them and realize that their influences of people, places, and things, that I was exposed to early on. It's the beliefs that I adopted, the mannerisms that I picked up, and those mannerisms, the more that I acted on them, they became habits. I'm going to open up with Jeff or Tommy. Just talk a little bit on what your experience with CGA is. After myself, I did get, I first started going to CGA in here maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I had been attending NA and AA meetings, and although I hadn't used for quite a few years, I still had a lot of the criminal elements to my thinking that I knew that I needed to address. And I always justified my actions by saying, well, I'm not using drugs or I'm not drinking anymore. So I'm not really, I'm either or. I'm not a gang member, but, what I was doing was I was minimizing those things because I still had elements of that criminal mindset that I was still thinking, how do I get over on authority? How do I manipulate and do this? So I started getting into the CGA. I started identifying with some of the steps, the principles, and I realized that a lot of spiritual principles and the steps were things that I had been missing in my own personal life, that would help me not only grow spiritually, but also mend and help my relationships with other people around me, inside prison and outside in the community. So CGA is one of the most...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
...that I've been fortunate to be involved with. And that. So, Jeff, you want to share a little bit?
I just encountered CGA within the last year. I had done gone to AA and NA meetings over the years, and I was never really able to connect with it. It just, I don't know, it just, it lacked something that CGA had, and I think really just identifying that cycle of addiction is seeing that the way we cope with things that are perhaps far beyond just turning to drugs and alcohol. And while I had been sober for a couple of years at this point, I had replaced those addictions with drugs, with other things that were still destructive. But I think and we just kind of touched on this. It's like through our criminal thinking, or we didn't recognize it as criminal thinking then, and we always compared. Well, I always compared what I was doing now to what I used to be doing, and it wasn't that. So I almost justified it as good, but it was still within that cycle of addiction. I never been able to recognize it before. Still coming to CGA, and then or be able to identify, really to dig into my past and those resentments, those driving forces that push that cycle. And I feel even though I had pulled away from the drugs for a time, but I hadn't really gone back to uncovering that past and uncovering the way I learned these certain behaviors, closest things that happened. It was only a matter of time before an incident or something happened in my life that would maybe push me back to the But being confronted with this and really being able to recognize it, I was able to start working on uncovering all that. And since then, I feel like I've grown so exponentially. I believe I owe a lot of it to the lessons that were taught in CGA.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Tommy? Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Hey.
Yes.
Uh,
You're up, Tommy.
CGA. So, all right.
You're up, Tom.
So CGA, Criminals Gang member, as a former lifer and criminal, I actually believe that because I didn't use drugs, right? So when I don't know, my experience with CGA and how I was introduced, let's say that, how I was introduced to it was as a person who never did drugs and didn't have any kind of substance addiction issue. I didn't believe that like the 12 step kind of, I didn't think that it applied to me until I was introduced to CGA. Because it addressed all those thought processes and all those character defects, and in doing so, it allowed me the opportunity to address those underlying character defects that controlled my thought process, that controlled the way that I viewed the world around me, and without coming to an understanding to do in the very first step, about we have an issue, we have a problem, and admitting that we have a problem, the rest wouldn't be possible. But I'll let it go.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I don't know if anybody heard me. But okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm passing on over to Todd now.
So, Todd?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is Tommy still talking or?
No, he's done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my name's Todd White. I'm a former lifer. I did 27 years of life. That's what I got. I got released. It took me like 3 boards. Former gang member. Yeah, CGA taught me just what Tommy was saying. Helped me with my character defects. It helped point them out. And make me aware of them so that I could work on them. And yeah, just like acceptance and just my expectations of other people, and yeah, I just I love going, I love sharing. Before I would never even share before, but so I would so once I start sharing and talking, it kind of it let me it kind of helped me out, and but yeah, just a lot of my character defects basically too, and and
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm still working on that. Like I thought, like when you start changing your life and everything, and you're making all those changes. It's you work on one thing and then you find out, oh man, I got another thing to work on. And so I would, it's just not like switching it off, or you can't, just changing one thing. It's like them character defects is something that I had built up as a kid that was that protected me. So I yeah, just I had to work on it. Like right now, I find myself, I'm out here and I'm giving it the best I can. I mean, I probably could give it a little more, but you know, even when things fall short, I just my thing out here now, I just instead of acting on anything, I just I basically just say, hey, I'm not in a cell and I'm not doing life. So that kind of helps me from anything I'm going through, but I still find myself having these expectations, and it's not just that's it. Even in a relationship, you have expectations, and yeah. So I'm still working on that right now. But CG, I still got to get back into it because I came back out here and I kind of like I did some groups, but not like I ain't been doing them like I was when I was
Okay.
incarcerated. So uh, yeah, I'm definitely need to start getting back into it because it helps me. I know it helps me, and it keeps me involved, and it keeps me aware of you know everything that I've went through. So, but most definitely, and then NA, I did NA too. Came to believe that a power greater than shock restored me to sanity. Because that's where we were in there at that time of criminality and gangs. And when you're just going full throttle, you're a life of insanity. But every day's a new day. I just thank God every day I wake up, and I just face my challenges with positivity. I just try to stay positive no matter what. I just went to Vegas, and I can't believe I missed three or two flights and a bus to get back here because I never flew before, and then I was going through some things out there, and but I thank God that my girl, because I was like ready to explode, but my girl, she just kind of took charge right away, and she didn't even give me time enough to to like for any to actually, man, she just took charge, and she didn't give me time to like act out or anything. Because I was like just so frustrated. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on? But I went out there thinking, we ain't seen each other. It's been a long distance relationship, and but she had to remind me like, you just expect this or you expect that. And then when I had some time to sit there and think about it, I was like, man, I'm putting these expectations. She's right, and a lot of these things that I had learned in there, I wasn't applying out here. You know, I mean, I applied a couple out here because things were kind of crazy at first, you know, but I just like on some of the hard things, I remember just praying and just giving it up to God. And then next thing you know, things just work themselves out, instead of acting out or, you know, and then a lot of the things you just got to let go, which I took from Gogi, and, boss of your own brain, all that. So I've been using some, but not like CGA is a big one too, because that's what I was deep off into was gangs and stuff and criminality and drugs. And, I just know that, those aren't the fix it tickets. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I thought you were, I thought, all right.
No, no. I
Yeah.
hear you.
All right. Yeah. I just,
Thank you for
yeah.
sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, yeah. CGA. That's what I love about CGA as well, is because a lot of people that do come in the CGA meetings, especially in here, they say, well, I don't identify with being a gang member or an addict. I didn't use drugs. I just sold it. Like they try to, initially they'll separate themselves from the quadrant of what makes you caught it from that lifestyle addiction. Need, when it starts to get to the core of it, strips you away from, once you say, okay, I'm not a gang member, I'm not this, I'm not addicted to drugs, or I'm not addicted to this, well, then why are you still continuing to do the things that you do that have consequences that are negative, where they affect other people around you? Why do you get into situations with people? Why do you get into conflict? So it's kind of like looking in a mirror and seeing your defects. Todd spoke about your character defects, and these are things, initially when we hear somebody pointing out or saying, okay, well, this is your character defect, and, it makes you feel like some kind of stuff, man, like, there's nothing wrong with me. I made mistakes before, but what do you mean I'm manipulative or I'm this way or that way? Like, being able to be honest is the first step in here, because you have to strip away all those layers that you built, one on top of the other, like, gang members or drug addicts or alcoholics. Those are all secondary causes of things. The underlying issues are the things that we were exposed to early on that shaped our belief system that drove us toward those things. And got us in that loop of that OCC, that obsessive compulsive productive deal, where we just kept doing the same things over and over and over until we couldn't get off. So, CGA helps you identify those things, strip those things down, shed light on them for what they really are, but at the same time, Jeff can also, corroborate this.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
A lot of those things, the spiritual principles of how to live your life, not just tools, but things that we either unlearned or were never exposed to early on. And, we became products. We allowed ourselves to become products of our experiences, and we adopted these warped belief systems because they benefited us. They benefited our selfish lifestyles of getting what we wanted. Jeff, you want to collaborate on that? About, a little bit on spiritual principles, how those, the ability to adopt those spiritual principles have started to shape and, shape your life better?
I think the first part was really trying to identify what the real defect was. When you stop, it's not a addiction, stuff was secondary things. This is where I think a sponsor really comes in handy, because we think we've got this character defect defined, and we can put a spiritual principle to counter that, but if we haven't taken that back, and that's really stemming back from something else, it really, you're almost like putting a Band-Aid over instead of going to the real problem. So it was to really strip it back and to find where your defect really lies, I think was the difficult part, and it almost always stemmed from this pain or shame that was in, and it was hard to look at that stuff. But once I think we were able to recognize those triggers that are happening within us, that let us know, hey, this isn't this, this is this, we can kind of get a game plan, oh, I'm being triggered by this, and I know so I can now make a game plan. When I feel this, I can start moving in this direction. Once I was able to really, identify those things and figure out what was really going inside, I had the direction.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I knew which way I needed to move. And so those spiritual principles that's the finish line that we're moving towards, right? But for me, it was really finding where the start line was. So I knew which way to run.
Yeah, like Jeff said about the spiritual principles, once you start stripping those things down and you start identifying those defects and those things that you knew that were wrong, You have to replace them. A lot of times we want to be good people. We weren't born to be this way. We weren't born to carry these warped belief systems. So, those spiritual principles are important because they teach us a new way of life. Whether it's just being kind, more social with people, kinder, better manners, whatever the case may be. Like, these are things, small things that we start implementing in our lives every day because they're new habits. We're starting to formulate these new habits. I want to read something about the lifestyle addiction real quick. It is the most vicious and powerful of destructive forces. Our beliefs are warped. Our manners are deceptive. And when we become consumed with an irresistible idea, desire, or emotional rush to commit a crime, we act, repeating some form of illegal activity over and over for self-gratification until it's a habit without conscious or compassion for others. We know it's wrong, yet convince ourselves it's right, and the end result leaves tragic consequences. Now, that cycle is hard to break if first and foremost you don't identify it and you don't realize that you have to keep yourself out of harm's way for any further fallback. So that could mean changing the people that you associate or hang out with, places that you go around that influence you, things like beliefs, manners, habits. And, Todd mentioned it earlier, it's reverting back to those old thought patterns, the way that you used to think, because that's where, these guys will tell you that's where it starts. Tommy and Todd are out there as former lifers, and they'll tell you that life doesn't get any easier. It's, it's even more critical now because they know what entails criminal thinking, because they know they've lived that lifestyle. So just because they walked away from it doesn't mean that all of that goes away, because, I think you can ask both of them. When things get hard out there, it's easy to start thinking about, man, I could just go do this or do that and get ahead. Like I could take shortcuts or cut corners. So that doesn't necessarily go away. But at the same time, because they've adopted new spiritual principles, they know that goes against who they are today, what they believe in today, so.
Yeah.
So. And that's it. I've known Todd for a long time, and I remember walking away from saying I wasn't a gang member no more, but we were still doing the same stuff. We were still acting like idiots. And we were still getting high, we were still drinking, we were still fighting, we were still because we wanted it, we were still so I haven't seen him for a long time, and he hasn't seen me. So,
yeah,
crazy to see us on this side of the coin where the healing and the change is taking place. And
for real.
It's still a work in progress, but at the same time, like, it's crazy that
Hey, another one.
People are able to get out of that cycle,
Yeah, true that. Another one out here is because I went in so young that when you're out here, like for instance, my girl would tell me like, man, you ain't fucking 21 again. Like, what's happening? Like you gotta because sometimes like we went in young and we're kind of thinking like that a little bit. Like when I got out, like not the same like criminal activity, none of that, but it's just like, that then people, places and things, that's a big one, and then, you're trying to connect or you're, even with family, and it kind of, it's just, it's awakening because everybody's got their own lives out here and and it's like, you're trying to like make up for lost time, or you're trying to, you want to talk or reconnect with some people, but some people are harmful, and so you gotta like set those boundaries, and then you have to basically not even the boundaries really, but you got to just avoid and focus on yourself out here and pushing forward. And that's what I found myself doing right here. Like I've hit some trash cans and hit curbs, but nothing to really take me back, but just not good environment for myself, and it's like I know better because I told myself in there too, like I wasn't going to do this, and I was going to stay away from these places, and and so now it's like, I'm back. Like basically, I gotta I gotta pull back, refocus. I gotta come up with the game plan and do all that, and then. But that was another big one. Like I gotta take my mindset out of I'm not no 21-year-old or 26-year-old, and like I gotta start thinking like an adult, to basically move forward and and it's a lot to take in, like when because I never had really a license, never paid no bill, never like, so I didn't really have none of that. So trying to you know trying to figure everything out is and sometimes you figure it out as you're going and it sucks, but you just got to keep pushing, and you got but that's where I'm at today. But I mean, I'm doing good, and I'm staying focused. And sometimes when a door shuts, you can't get, you don't let it disappoint you. You just got to keep knocking on different doors, and then finally that one door will open. Because I had got a job and I had that license, a Class A, and basically, it was a bomb job. Everything, it was like the dream job, but I couldn't travel state to state, and so I had to go. I couldn't stay there. And but that ain't, I could have looked at that all, well, like I could start blaming parole and all that, but I didn't. And and we learn that. When we're changing, we learn that. So, and I just know that I don't use nothing for an excuse, But that's it.
I like what you were saying earlier, Todd, about the expectations.
Yeah.
For me, that was huge. Understanding how I would like project expectations on other people, and then when they didn't live up to them, I'd be all pissed off, right? It'd give me a reason to be frustrated or mad or whatever, right? And this is something that Keith and I used to talk about when I was in there with Keith, and I, sometimes I even, helped him in that category. Is I had to start realizing that.
You have a prepaid call from.
Hold on. He's calling back.
Yeah, I'm trying to lower it a little bit. I'm trying.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
But managing expectations was huge, because a lot of times we have the expectations of others that we never even discussed with them, and then when they didn't live up to them, we get all pissed off because we thought they should believe. We believe they should conduct themselves in a certain manner. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That was something that after I got out, I've been out, like I said, about 19 months, a little over. That was something that about 6 months into my getting out, I started doing that.
Yeah, me too.
I started thinking like, hey, you should act a certain way, or you should be this way, or you should be grateful, or all these things, right? Then I realized that not everybody had my experiences. You know what I mean? Not everybody did the time that I did. Even in the transitional house that I was in, a lot of the guys were not even people out of jail. It was a sober living that was half transitional and half free world people that were private paid, right? They went there to live there to get, rid of their addictions or whatever. And I thought they should act the same way that I should act, because I'm super grateful being home and they were miserable, It took a long time. I won't say a long time. It took a little bit for me to like, okay, wait a minute, and then boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries became a thing for me too. Setting healthy boundaries. We were talking about these things, right? Some of those people and some of those places are my family and my hometown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I had to start setting healthy boundaries with my family. I don't even hardly ever go back to my hometown, and when I do, it's usually just a hit and miss. Like I'll run in and I'll run out, and that's actually what I'm doing now. Is like I'm on my way home because my niece is getting married tomorrow, and although I can't attend the wedding, I do want to see my other family that are in town too. So I'm gonna go and visit, have dinner, and then literally leave by the end of the night. Right? Because that's what's healthy for me, right? I learned that through the CGA process, right? By understanding my character defects and how sometimes being in a certain area could trigger some of those. You know what I mean?
Yep. And, man, even another one on. It's like I thought I was so strong, that I could be around people that used, and I thought, because my thing on that is I really thought like I was gonna be like, you know what, I come from that background, I come from that, and I'm strong enough to handle it. But not just that, but I don't want to judge these people or act like I'm, just because I'm not doing nothing. I don't want to, I'm not judging you, you know. And then I thought I was strong enough, but sure enough, man, I ended up relapsing. So that was, that was a big one too. I mean, I'm cool right now, but that's in the beginning. Like that had ended up happening, and I ended up going into a program, but it was like that's what I fell back. That's what happened to me. It's like I thought I was so strong. At first, I was like, no, 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 and then I just thought I was strong enough, and I didn't want to judge these people. But bottom line, it's like the people, places, and things. That's on that relapse plan, bro, and that's real.
Yeah, it is. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I was fortunate, and I believe myself to be very fortunate that I didn't have an addiction to substances when I never did in my life. I never even tried any of the hard stuff, right? But as a result, I think that gave me a leg up on a lot of people coming out. But
Yeah.
on the flip side of that, too, it also gave me an ego issue.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Right. I'm not like you. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't suffer from the same thing you suffer from,
Yeah, I'm
especially
different.
before I took CGA, right? And
Yeah.
and so I did that. Even after I got out, one thing I've been very diligent about when I get out is who I surround myself with.
Yeah.
I believe if you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with successful people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I've steered clear of a lot of the guys that are just doing their own thing, and not really, trying to better themselves. I don't mind
Yeah.
saying hi or what's up, like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Nice to see you. But other than that, I usually surround myself with people who I believe I can either help them come up or they can help me come up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Straight up. Yeah.
And that's been very successful for me since I got out. I also work with ARC, right?
Oh, that's right.
I'm a life coach. I go back into a couple different prisons, and that by itself is a reminder of because I teach
Yeah.
CGA, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of the classes that I teach, or not teach. I shouldn't use that word. It's not that the word's not true. I don't teach it, but I facilitate, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a constant reminder of those principles that we learn as a result of those groups, And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the job, but I'll be honest, it's hard. Going inside of a prison is kind of hard after you've been out. You worked your ass off to get out of there. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
turn around and go back, And
Yeah.
so that part's a little bit difficult. But on the same token, like I said, it's a constant reminder, that where you could be if you allow yourself to fall back into those behaviors,
Yeah.
And for me, that's what it is. It's that thought process, right? That pride that gets in my way. Like, because I'm a born hustler, and you can ask I work 3 jobs, 4 jobs. I don't care. I'll stay working. I put in 90, 100 hours a week routinely.
Yeah.
But I also felt myself like that's all I was doing, and I wasn't taking care of myself.
You wasn't doing the self care.
Yeah, I wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I always took the weekends off, usually spend them with my family, my old lady, or whatever. But I like coming home at the end of the night, being with my old lady. I like coming home at the end of the night, kicking my feet up, and eat popcorn, have a dinner, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Before I was coming home and just going to sleep, and then waking up and starting over, and that was killing me. It was one of those things that I wasn't taking care of me. I was taking care of everybody else but me, and that's also dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because now we're looking outside.
here you guys are.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Both you guys are out there now. You guys have been out there for a while, and it makes me reflect back on step 1, where admitting a lack of strength and control. Because when you assume that you do have control over whatever addiction, past addiction, or being able to go into an older environment, like you said, Todd, like enough, but you didn't want them to think that you were judging them. So
Yeah.
you compromised yourself by putting yourself in that situation.
Yep.
You wanted to please them. You didn't want them thinking you were judging them. And we still do
Yeah.
that. Like, it reminds me of, I had a fast conversation with Jeff on here, months ago. We probably had the same conversation before when he first came to prison. He had told me he was going to go by a different name. He was going to do this or act a certain way. And he adopted all these beliefs and ideologies because he wanted to fit in. And what it did was it kept him on that, it put him on that loop, on that Ferris wheel of that addiction cycle. And it made it even harder for him to get off because you're, you want to share a little bit about that, Jeff?
Yeah. It was just that. Like, I grew up in a kind of a sheltered family. I was very fortunate to not be like. I had parents that supported me, and I wasn't like in any type of gang type of association on the street or any kind of violence or anything that really dealt with that. I had an addiction problem, and that addiction left me big control in life. And once I got to prison, I came in at 23. There was just this fear inside, like that person I grew up as on the street wasn't going to survive once I hit inside. So I went by JC my whole life, Jeffrey Cole on the street. And when I got to county, someone asked my name, and without even like contemplating it, I just said Brooks. But it was the beginning of this fresh identity.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and
any
recorded.
kind of principles or beliefs, and was just this brand new fresh thing that was able to be molded and influenced by everything that I was surrounded by. And that went into really just super race-filled thoughts, into gang mentality, into drugs, and into violence. And there was nothing that I stood on, no principles that would really keep me from doing anything. And I was just this fresh cut thing that was ready to do whatever I had to do to make sure that they didn't see the real person I came in as. And it was super dangerous because it's like if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything type of idea. But I was just, I allowed that to really push me into someone that I completely just wasn't. And in that process, I began to lose who my identity really was. That person I was raised as, that real me got lost somewhere. And the longer I fell into that stuff, and especially when I got to prison, it was much more intensified into me.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And the ideologies that came with that I got to this one point and I looked in the mirror and I didn't know who I was. And it scared me. I didn't know where to go because I'd forgotten almost where I'd come from. But with that, there came a certain point where I didn't agree with what I was seeing in the mirror, and I started over. I just was like, I'm starting over. I'm starting fresh. I'm letting go of all of it, and I began to just kind of refine who I really was, but my identity in here was just completely taken away, and I took on something else to survive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Jeff.
Yeah. Yes,
So
thank you.
what we're going to do now, fellas, is I'm going to open up with some of the steps. So instead of just covering one step at a time, I'm going to I'm going to incorporate a couple steps together because they go hand in hand. So we're going to open up with step 1 and step 2 of the 12 steps. Step 1, after I read them, we're going to open up with a discussion and, give us a little bit of your insight, whoever feels like sharing. Step 1 is we reviewed our past, admitting a lack of strength and control over our addictions to all forms of illegal activity, and that our lifestyle was not decent nor manageable. That's step 1. Now, step 2, then we became willing to believe that change is possible by learning a different way of living through suggestions from those who have trudged the path of recovery before us out of insanity. And, the definition of an insanity is continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, right? So does anybody want to share their personal experience with step 1 and step 2?
I will. This is Tommy. So step 1 was, I think, is the beginning of everything for everyone, right? It's all about admitting that your thought process and your behavior is a problem, and not just for everybody around you, but for yourself. That is the reason why you are in the situation you're in. That nobody is responsible for you being where you are except for you and the way you believe and the beliefs that you've adopted, as well as the behaviors as a result of them. And when it comes to step 2, for us, it's important to, look towards outside of ourselves, because our own reasoning got us into prison, right? So, to look outside of ourselves for the answers was super important, right? And that's why we often look towards a spiritual or a higher power. Some of us believe in God, Jesus Christ. Some people believe in whatever. That was, as a result, we looked outside of ourselves for the answers to bring us out of that insanity. And that's those two steps are. That's what, for me, that's what was important, right?
This is Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Erickson.
an incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison.
I'm just going to get these calls.
California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And thank you, everyone, for the gifts. I appreciate it.
Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Okay.
Tommy still there?
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I was just saying, Pete, that with step 1, it's admitting that you have a problem in the first place. Because if you don't admit that there's a problem, then you'll never think that there's anything to fix. Also, step 2, looking outside of ourselves for the answer, because our best reasoning got us in prison. You know what I mean? So we obviously were not able to do it ourselves, so we had to look towards others to give us guidance.
Yeah, and one thing about this step 1 is it's not a self inventory. It's just like you said, Tommy. It's it's irrefutable. Like, you look at it, the hard fact, the hard truth is you're in prison because of your problem, your mistakes, your choice of thinking. So it's just a first step towards accountability, right? And that's the first step. And when we go into step 2 is where you become willing to change, we all know what the change process is, the contemplation of changing, and then actually stepping into it, and then actually, tangibly doing things to change. But you have to believe that that's possible first. And the first step to that is that accountability. And, step 2, by learning a different way of living through suggestions from those who have trudged the path of recovery before you. So, and that's what I did when I stepped into, whether it was just wanting to change my life or even stepping into a CGA. Like, I sat in these groups and I wanted to, it's no different than wanting to emulate somebody in the old lifestyle, wanting to be somebody that was a gang member that was well known, or the best drug dealer or the best criminal, whatever the case may be. We emulated that. We seen other people doing it, so we thought we could do it the same way or even better. So we did, and that's what we did. So, in the recovery process, you want to walk in the footsteps of somebody that you've seen, because that's where the hope starts. That's where that process starts to take shape. Well, okay, it is possible that I can get out of this lifestyle that I was in because this guy did it. You might not say that, you might not come out and say that, but that's why this step, it's critical that you start looking for a sponsor, somebody that you can trust in and confide in, because that's what's going to get you out of it. That's where you come to be willing to believe, and for me, when I sat in those groups, I remember sitting in some of those groups for almost a year, and just sitting in there and not really believing that I could change, and because I was still wanting to hold on to those things that, Jeff talked about it earlier. I didn't want people to see the parts of me that I held on to that hid the real me. I was behind all these masks that I didn't want that vulnerability. To me, that this lifestyle in prison taught me that vulnerability.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It caused people to prey on you. And I hid behind that lie so much that, that's one thing about it is you create that one lie, you have to protect that lie with additional lies and so on and so forth. So that's where it got harder for me. But that's where that coming to believe is I had to I looked at other people for that strength and that courage, because when I seen it in other people, that's where I started to believe that I could do it the same way, Anybody else?
Absolutely.
I cut out a little bit, so forgive me if I'm repeating anything. You both did it. I think one thing I really love about the CGA is one of the folks that really helps that stuff is it really tackles that physical addiction, being able to understand it. And I think once I was able to visibly see the cycle, I was able to identify it in other parts of my life that I was in denial that I was still within this addiction, and it allowed me to have to be honest with myself. It's not here anymore, but here it is, popping up in this area, and then you have the information in front of you. There's no denial. Getting it's not there, or try to put it to the back to continue it. You know where that addiction, that cycle leads to, and it may be something small here right now, but as you allow that to continue, it's just where it leads. It's going to manifest something regret, something worse and worse and worse until you're right back into those super destructive things where you're hurting other people and yourself. So step one for me, I looked at that and really identified that cycle. And step two is all about hope for me. I mean, really.
Excuse me, Marge, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm pulling up to the restaurant where my family's at.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to drop early, but I'll be back next Friday.
Oh, okay, Tommy. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good
Be
one.
in touch.
Thank you.
Likewise. I love you guys, man. I'll see you guys next Friday.
All right.
That's right.
Love you, Tommy.
Bro. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye, Bubba.
I promise.
Okay.
Step two is about hope for me. I mean, you see these people that were in the same cycle as you were, and much worse, even when they are today. And you see that change right before your eyes, and when you see it, you believe it's possible. It motivates you to see what's going on. I want that too. It's just the driving force you used to have towards this destruction is now flipping. You want that change, you want to be better, because you've been going through the happiness that in them, and I think that leads to the next part of that too. You're able to
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Everything I've been through and hearing others through, I just lost trust in people. I didn't trust anybody. So this was huge for me, that ability to say I need help and to be trusted.
Oh yeah, trust in this environment is very hard. Not only that, is a lot of our defects of character are based on, lack of trust, or we're untrustworthy people, so we reflect that on other people as well, our old lifestyle. So my question is for Todd and Jeff is, can you really identify it when you actually became willing to believe that you could change? Because I've known Todd for a long time, and we've seen each other at our worst. Like, we've seen each other at our worst, Todd. Like, we have. When I heard that you were doing so good, I was like, man, I wish I could have a sit-down a conversation with you and see, like, when did that light switch go off where that defining moment, set of moments where, okay, I'm willing to believe that I can change. I'm going to really try to change.
Hey, it's crazy. It's crazy. That happened in 2018. It happened. I couldn't believe it, bro. I started at Corcoran Shoe Kickout Yard in '96, and and I ended up back there, and it was turned up. Everything was wild, and my mom passed away, and I just remember being in a cell. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a cell. And back then I was doing drugs. I was slamming. I must have slammed like 6 times and missed all 6 times. And what it was is I was trying to block out that my mom had just passed, and I wasn't grieving or nothing, it was, and I was trying to numb the pain. And I told myself right then, it was like, man, I think it's like God's in this cell or something's happening. It was just a trip because, it was almost like she couldn't leave. It felt like she couldn't leave without, when I was okay. It was crazy. And then, I just said, I'm either going to continue do what I'm going to do or I'm going to change, and then that's when it started right there. And that's when I started making the change. And then, and like, man, I've known you for a long time too, brother. And it's like, a lot of us, we don't half step, we don't be like faking. We don't like that fake stuff. So, when I dove in, I just said, all right, well, I gotta surrender. I gotta, if I'm really going to give it a chance, then I got to give it a chance. I got to believe that this change is possible. And, and then here comes the accountability. You know what I mean? And the blame. That's on them steps too, both of them. So it's like, yeah. And then that's when it's not like we don't change overnight. It's a process. And I started going to groups and just retaining everything. And then like, even when you write your biography, man, of yourself, you're like, and then in there too, it just came where, like, man, I couldn't believe that I really allowed myself, like I went down that far, and then you start working on your character defects and coming up with different coping skills. And, and all that has like played a part out here too with me. And I don't use my same coping skills. Like, I used to think violence would fix everything, but it don't. So, and I just use different coping skills that I learned in there and in the group. So, yeah, that's when my change started right there. And then I just, I kept going too, and I kept doing all the groups, did the L-Top, did, all of them, criminal thinking, anger management, substance abuse, and then, but I mean, yeah, it really helped me a lot. And other lifers that were trudging the path before me that were going to board, I was just on them, and then I just started finding out about myself, my childhood trauma, what led up to this, and why I came up with this coping skill, and this and that. And then, even when you come out here, it's like when you're looking at all that, like all of it wasn't wrong because you still have some good coping skills. You know what I mean? And yeah, so you're not just all the way bad. You know you got so you just throw you change the ones that don't apply, and then you still keep the ones that are your good character. You know, and yeah, that's when I started making that change, bro. When my mom passed. Yep.
It's ironic that you say that because when I went back to the shoe in 2008, I went the same way. I felt like I went full circle. And
yeah.
I remember showing up back to the shoe in New Folsom and going in that cell and just sitting.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I felt so small. I felt so insignificant because I didn't have nobody else to blame. I had to take account. Like, it was like, here I was sitting in the shoe again. And I think that, when they talks about become willing in that step 2, I think it's more, it should be became willing to surrender. Because again, I felt the same way. I felt like, man, like, I surrender. Like, this is not what I want. Like, I can't. And I knew right then as well, I knew that if I continued to do this, I was either going to die in here like that.
Yep.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I just couldn't do it anymore. I just surrendered. And that's when I started to, I became willing. I didn't make the steps that I needed to, but I was like, man, I surrendered, man. I'm tired of making excuses. I can't live like this no more. Whether I ever got out of prison or not at that time, like, I was like, man, I can't believe I did this. I made the conscious decision to go out and do what I did to another person.
Yeah.
After the shoe, and I didn't have nobody to blame but myself. And I had, like, I was ready to surrender, and that's where we're going to go into step 3, where we make the decision to let go of.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
That was our prison in our mind too.
That's so I can identify with you like that,
Yeah.
Yep. Call back. All right. Call back. Okay. See, Todd, you're a pro at this. Pro. I had no doubt. You got this.
Man, it's just been a minute. But I need it back though. I do. I really do, because it's it really,
Yeah. And we do this every Friday, and I do it sometimes on Thursday nights also with another prison. Donovan, I have a few guys over there too that I do calls with. That I met through Keith also.
You have a prepaid call from.
Yeah.
Keith Erickson.
I'm trying to help people out here.
Visual at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California.
I'm trying to give some of them a voice.
Telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
This call. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay, we're just waiting for. Does he prefer Cole or Jeff? I was calling him Cole. I don't know which one.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from.
You call them both? Okay. Your baby boy. That cracks me up. He has the recording. You ever see the call from your baby boy? I just like. That's what it says.
Thank you for using Global.
I can't take him serious.
He's going to say right now.
Hey, I'm just gonna walk him outside real quick, but I'm gonna stay on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna walk his dog outside, but he's gonna stay on the phone.
Okay. I crack up when I get. What's that?
Hey, come here.
Keith.
Let's go.
Oh. Nani, right? When I first got the call from him, I just couldn't hold it. I cracked up laughing, and my daughter's like, "What?" When she heard your baby boy, we started laughing. Christy, when Christy heard it.
Like these steps, like this is. I think that step 2 was. That's why I. It's different when you I've known Todd for so long.
Okay.
We I can relate to that. I could identify with him sitting, like going full circle, sitting back in that cell. That it's such a place of loneliness and isolation where just surrender. Like you just feel so insignificant, and you don't know what's ahead. You don't know how you're going to change, but you want out of that insanity so bad that you just give up. You just surrender. You just give up, and you don't even have no fight in yourself no more to fight against your old self. You just want to let go. Like, of course, you don't have the courage to, or you don't have the desire to take your own life, but you literally, like, you become so spiritual. You feel so spiritually dead that you just surrender. You just want something to help you. And so I could totally relate to that.
Oh.
Yeah. But again, in that lifestyle, we go into step 3, which is made a decision to let go of destructive self-will. In exchange for spiritual principles, becoming willing to seek God's care and protection as we understood God. And, that's the biggest thing is you don't want to let go of that stuff because your lifestyle has been so self-centered where those defects of character, that's who you are. You don't want to let that stuff go because that's what you've used to survive, especially in here for so long. You don't want to let that go because you don't know what else is around the corner. You don't know what else is going to help you survive in here. You have to surrender that to God. And the hardest thing about that for me was like I had resentments at and I'm ashamed to admit that I had resentments towards God because I needed somebody to blame for the way that my life had ended up. And, even though there were times where I wanted a relationship with my heart.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I held on to resentments and self-will. I didn't want to relinquish full control of somebody else. I still wanted to hold on to aspects of my life that I got to control.
Right.
But that's what it is. That's what willing to make the decision to let go. You have to let go of all of that in order to replace it with spiritual principles. So I think for me, that was step 3 was probably maybe a bump in the road where I felt like I was playing tug of war with my spirituality. Todd, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He's here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me it was like playing tug of war with God because I was like when you have faith like that you want to be able to you want to be able to see results right away, and I think in this step is where you learn a lot of patience. You learn a lot of surrender and you learn a lot of blind faith where it's like you're abandoning the attitude and behavior that you're comfortable with, that you use to justify your old actions and behaviors, to like really lay that in the care and protection of God and really go in blind faith, like, hey, He's got me. He's going to help me through this. Like,
Yep.
I think for us that's the hardest thing,
Yeah. I mean, I was the same way. Same way, man. That's you just got to give it up to God, and then let him drive. We always want to grab that steering wheel. That's for sure. I know that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But this step calls on us to let go of destructive self-will, because that's one thing that we do have is we have self-will.
This call and your telephone will be monitored and recorded.
And whatever challenges that life throws at us, but for disputes and conflicts with other people. But it's getting out of your own way, is getting out of those self-centered attitudes that matter, and we're going to just trample on the rights and feelings of others, to get what we want. We have to let go of all of those old attitudes and beliefs that we had, and that's not easy because,
no, it's not easy.
Change doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Right.
Nah, because those were the coping skills that protected us too, and that we not just protected us, but the coping skills that we put on other people, like, for dealing with other people, for dealing whatever circumstance was happening. It was like, this is us, this is how I handle that, and this is the way I'm going to deal with that, yeah, so to start changing all that, and that changes, like I remember when I was changing, and it's like, when you change and everything changes. The people around you, even in there or whatever, what I'm saying, you're not part of the in crowd no more. You're not, so you got to accept a lot of that. But when you're going through that too, when you're changing and you're going through that, like your pride, a lot of that, you start to you're triggered because you're like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it. So, but you gotta learn how to deal with that. You got to be like, okay, I got to be good with that. Like, okay, you know what I mean? But at first it does trigger you because you're changing and you're not, you're not fully, you're still, it's like, you're still growing in your change. So, I remember that being hard. I would get triggered, but, then I had to just keep studying and keep, and keep just, resort back to my new coping skills that I put in place and changed for the old coping skills. So, I just that's just, but it's some of the things you got to go through, and I went through them, and
And
yeah,
you said that free will. Free will is your ability to make choices and decisions between right or wrong, good or evil. Like you
Yeah.
always have that free will, that self-will. Um, but it's necessary. But that's what it means by, it's like going up into a pinnacle pyramid up to the higher power of God, which is the principle. The more that you're willing to relinquish up to Him, the more that all of those things don't matter no more. Like you said, that self-pride, like you mentioned about not being in the in crowd anymore. And that's because that's your perception, that's your attitude that
yeah,
these guys were the cool guys down here. These guys in the curb, shucking and jiving, doing drugs, beat people up. Like these were the cool guys in our old lifestyle.
yeah,
We looked at them as the in crowd, which is sadly, once you step outside of that and the further you get away from that, you become so uncomfortable going back to that you realize
Yeah.
this was never
Yep.
this was just all a matter of perception and an attitude.
yeah.
That's that warped belief system. So,
Yeah, and it was a trip, like just like walking up to somebody that you knew was already functioning in drugs, right? And it was like I'd walk up, even though I'm not doing that no more. But everybody they get quiet, and then like so that kind of like the change from that used to bother me. It was like I could still feel it, but then I would just shake it off and keep pushing. But yeah. But it was like it's just an experience that you do go through when you are changing. And it's just one of them things that you just got to get used to. And then like he said, eventually like that stuff really doesn't bother you no more because you're not that person no more. So
That used to be how, when that happened to me, that's how I knew my change, like it was real, because it wasn't just about how I saw myself, but like these other people in the yard, like I wasn't part of the group anymore. They didn't feel comfortable talking in front of me because they saw me as different too. And when I saw that, it was like a victory for me. I didn't even see it as a bad thing. I was like, you know what? It's real now. Like I've made it out of that identity that I took on.
yep.
yeah.
And I'm happy today. I'm really happy today. I'm like, cause that change is like, I'm glad I'm not that same person no more. I really am.
Yeah, CGA says giving up what is normal behavior in exchange for spiritual principles. We're not used to applying in our daily lives. It feels awkward. Like I felt so boring and so out of place. Like you said, like Tom said, you walk up into a crowd and everybody just shuts up. Like you start thinking all these thoughts in your head, like, man, this guy think I'm a big old snitch now because like all these insecurities and these vulnerabilities are out.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, man, this is so like, and the character defects of wanting to please people all the time, to give in to peer pressure, that starts playing in my mind like, man, like I want to change my life, but I don't want people to see me as this way. So you have to, like you said, you have to be willing to let go of that destructive self-will, because that's the stuff that's already caused you so much hurt. You have to be willing to relinquish that up to God or whatever your higher power is, and allow the spiritual principles. Because when you start thinking about things, despite going through those hardships of trying to navigate, especially a prison yard where you're changing amongst people that you've built let's say like a rapport with, like a reputation with, and you're perceived a certain way, like you're getting set up and be willing to challenge all of that stuff and to leave yourself vulnerable for spiritual principles. That's the first step, because you're allowing that work to start happening within yourself, and that, that bridge, that relationship that you have with God, right? And I think for me, that was the hardest thing too, was like, I didn't know what spiritual principles were. I didn't know what having patience was. I didn't know how long it was going to take. But then I started realizing that spiritual principles is not a matter of religious basis. It's just a matter of what's going right, what's good, what's moral for the next, like, whether it's empathy, compassion, kindness. And that was the biggest thing for me, is that uncomfortability was necessary for me to feel comfortable in my own skin,
Yeah. Man, for being in prison so long too, you got to remember, like, man, the things we were doing in there, man, we should, we size them up, and basically we already had them pegged of what kind of person they were, So you got to let all that go too, and like all the judgment, everything, and it's just, that's what I mean. It's like, it's a growth, like all these things, they pop up along your way. Like once you're changing, they start popping up. You're working on one, boom, here comes another one. So, and that, I mean, I was going through a lot of that myself. And so I just kept like replacing.
Agree with me that the reason why they pop up is because you're becoming more aware. You're becoming more emotionally intelligent of these things, so you're able to identify them. It doesn't mean that you're finding more things wrong with you. It just means you're becoming more aware of how certain behaviors in one area of your life are trickling over into your other ones. You see what I mean? So you just become...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
For me, like you said, it felt overwhelming at times. Like,
to
a self-help group, and then like doing all these self-help groups and digging up all this old stuff, and then feeling like this heavy weight on your shoulders. But it was important to feel that weight of that, because then you were able to identify with other people and the harm that you caused other people, and how that, it taught me to be more empathetic in how my actions caused a ripple effect, not just directly to my victim, but everybody around me. So it was important, but, I think it's necessary to feel that weight like that for you to start taking the accountability, to act. I got to call back.
Okay. Cole, you want to call right back? He already did. Routine. Hey, Liz. How are you? And Todd, you're in Cali, right? Oh, he might have had to. Let's see. Okay. Everyone, thank you for joining. Oh, here we go. We'll get these calls real quick.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Keith Erickson.
an incarcerated individual at the Pleasant Valley
So we'll
State
see
Prison,
where
Coalinga,
Keith
California.
left off and where
This
we're
call
going to
and your
continue
telephone
with
number will be
this.
monitored and
We'll have
recorded.
Jeff
You have a
recall.
prepaid call. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay, we're just waiting for
So,
Cole to call back.
okay.
Yeah, he'll be calling right back.
Okay.
How's Angel doing?
She's doing good. She was here today.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a
I
prepaid call from
think she's getting ready to get more help with the organization, so I think her load's going to get lighter.
the Pleasant
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I spoke to her last weekend. She got back from she was away, so I think I talked to her. Yeah, it was Sunday I spoke to her. Okay, we're back.
Okay. So there's a few questions that are relatable to step 3. They're kind of current questions. They apply to like as if you were, they apply to your life now. But I'll try to word them in a way that that you guys can like kind of attach to maybe in the past. What certain beliefs did you hold on to which prevented you initially from trusting that you can move forward with positive change? But what certain beliefs did you hold on to which initially prevented you from trusting that you could actually move forward with change?
One more time.
Okay. Hold on, did you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit, not really though. One more time.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Okay. What certain beliefs did you hold on to that initially prevented you from trusting that you could actually move forward with change? What certain beliefs did you hold?
Man, what beliefs should I hold that it? Oh man, that's a good one. It's been a minute.
Like for me, I can identify right away, and my wife pointed it out to me just a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, where it was a belief that not just that I could change, but she always would tell me that, man, you do
This
so much
call
good
and
stuff
your
in there now,
telephone
but
number will be monitored and
when
recorded.
I talk about you coming home, it's like as if you don't believe that you deserve to be home. And I had that belief because I took somebody's life. So I had
Yeah.
this belief that, even though I could change, like, when she asked me that question, it was like a slap in the face of reality because here I was always wanting to help other people and help people fix themselves and do this. But when the question was posed to me, like, do I actually believe that I deserve to come home? That was a hard thing because I always used to tell myself, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? I used to say, I took somebody's life, I did all this hurt, I did all this violence, I did all this bad. Like, I don't deserve, like, I deserve to be where I'm at in prison. So I had that belief in the back of my head that no matter how much good I do, I'll never be able to atone or redeem myself for the harm that I've caused. So for me, that was always a thing that stayed in the back of my mind. So when she pointed that out to me, it really made me think. It was a serious question I had to really think about because I didn't realize that I carried myself that same way and that it was so transparent, that I didn't talk about myself being out in the community, that I didn't talk about myself building a life outside of prison, I just only focused on doing what was good in here now,
Yeah.
So that belief was heavy for me, like self-preserving. Like, did you feel like that, Todd, whenever you got your
Nah, yeah, I did feel like that. I was just thinking about it right now. It's almost like I was hiding it back there. Didn't really want to look at it too much, Like I was thinking, like I knew that, I believe change was possible, but it was like, was I worth it? Did I deserve it? And but I would say, yeah, I deserve it, but in the back of my mind, you're right. Like I would question it, and but yeah, and then I would just keep saying, nah, I'm worth it, and but yeah, it does pop up. It's back there, and it would, I'd be hiding it, but I mean, today, no, today, yeah, I believe, heck yeah, today, I believe, yes, that it is, and and that I am worthy of it, it's like, I also believe like I got, I believe that God blessed me and I was given these blessings and sometimes I got to remember that, I got to remember that, not to take them lightly and yeah, so I'm like right now that's kind of big in my life and I'm trying to like push forward and do all the right things out here, and even it's we're always gonna have struggles. It's like at the end of the thing, it's not like everything's just gonna be the perfect world. So and you got to remember that. So I'm like,
This
you
call
know, you just
or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
but not to just throw these blessings away. And yeah, yeah.
True.
What about you, Jeff? What certain beliefs did you hold on to that initially prevented you from trusting that you could move forward with positive change?
Yeah, I can connect with what both of you are saying. It took me a long time to get to the place where I could forgive myself for what I've done. And like deep inside, I believed that I deserved to suffer. And then just from like the shit that I had with my dad and my resentment, so I wasn't aware of it yet. I just didn't believe I was worthy of love. And even from myself. So I think that really set me in a place. And then when I finally did start to get on that, started to try to get on that path, I believed that I could do it on my own, and that I was in control, that I didn't need any help, that I had it handled and covered. And I think that really kept me from being able to push forward. It kept me stuck. Because my way had gotten me right where I was. My way was stuck in that insanity and that cycle of just repeating and repeating. And each time you got maybe just a little bit further, you somehow, I disillusioned myself to believe that I wasn't doing the same thing because I got further this time. So it just kept me stuck thinking that I didn't need any help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what you said about, like, you didn't deserve it, like you didn't deserve love. Like, that's self-conviction. That life, that I can totally relate to that because I was there. Like, no matter how much, like, I met my wife and she let me past my pain, but there was still those things about my past that I needed to confront, I needed to identify, I needed to work through, that I needed to let go of. And it's like you said, that self-love is like, no matter how much somebody loves you and supports you, if you don't do that self-love, that self-care, that work on your own as well, and like you said, establish that relationship with God, like that spiritual connection with yourself and the world around you, like that's no matter how much somebody loves you and supports you, it's going to get hard to get past that pain. Like, it's going to feel hard to feel worthy of that, no matter how much somebody gives you that, because you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I deserve this, And I didn't realize how significant that was until she asked me that question, and it caused me to go back and go, like, you know what, how much do I value myself? Like, even though I don't put myself in harm's way, like, do I really love myself? Do I really see myself as being deserving of this? So that's what I mean, like, by having that, letting go of those old beliefs and whatever old beliefs that you have that do hold you back in that, in
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So let's go into step 4 tonight. We'll just kind of like briefly go into it, talk about it a little bit, and then we'll open up with a few more questions, and then we'll wrap up. But step 4 is, we all know what step 4 is. Search our past thoroughly. We make inventory lists of the good that we've done and the wrongs and resentments towards others. I think for this step 4, for you guys that have worked it as well, this was the hardest part of the steps for me, because it required me to like make inventory list of the things that I did wrong. And I was so consumed on identifying the bad things that I've done, because I've always been, we've lived our lives in this lifestyle where everything bad that we did was emphasized or highlighted, and it didn't matter what little good things that we did, since our time in the world, like, as infants. We totally forgot about those things because our life no longer revolved around them. It highlighted all the evil, the bad that we did. So for us to sit down and make this inventory list, so it was important whenever I sat down and was told to do this inventory list of these things, that I had to identify the good things that I've done too. So, what I realized is when I sat down to do this list, it took me weeks, and I worked with my sponsor, and I started, it's like, I felt so embarrassed and guilty and shameful of all the things and I know I was half-stepping, because he even told me, like, you had to have done more than this. Like, and I did, and going back and being able to, and this is where trust comes in to another person, especially your sponsor, honesty, self-honesty with yourself, and just carrying that ugliness of the guilt that you felt, because you had to put it on the table for what it was. Like,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I did this, at this age, and it's easy to get so consumed in the ugliness and the damage and the hurt and the wrong that you kind of forget about the good things that you did. So we would, for every bad thing that I did, I'd have to go over to my good side, and he'd ask me to identify something good that I did. My earliest memories of my childhood where I did something good, So I think doing that search our past thoroughly, make an inventory, that was hard, because it required me to be courageous as well. Like, I had to be courage, because it takes courage to sit there and write out that stuff and be honest with yourself about the things that you did. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Todd?
I know
Yeah.
for me, the hardest part for me was looking. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, you remember doing your inventory list of your inventory list of good and bad?
Yeah, so the hard part for me was the resentment. I had these kind of these rose-colored glasses on when I had to look at my past, at my relationship with my dad, and the things that had happened to me in my childhood, and I had it was this coping mechanism so that I could remember the things the way I wanted them to be, and not the way that they really were. So the more I wrote down this list, and like we try to do it in that kind of order that it pops into our head, and then you go back and you remember more and more. And I think each time we go back through it, we're remembering it as it really happened, because we put in these things that
You have 60 seconds remaining.
To deal with. And as I pulled that back to those layers, and I saw shit for the way it really was, it was super painful. But it let me see like the roots of where these behaviors have started, and it was within those resentments that the root was, and the key to unlocking everything made sense once I pulled that back, because I could see where it started and where the pain started and the shame about that work and that feeling like I was.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Those insecurities and the anger, and it all stems back to those resentments that I had created layers to not remember how they were.
Right. Oh. He's hung up. It has hung up. Call if you want to call right back, because Keith hung up. Okay, they'll call us right back. This will probably be the last phone call with them. So we'll do this last 15. This will probably be the last one. We usually wrap it up after this one. We'll see what Keith says. Keith is the boss. We know that. He's the boss.
Man, it's good talking to him again too.
No,
This is Global Telling.
we do this every week.
Call from.
I wouldn't know what to do without him, I'll tell you. And I met him just by doing this. I don't know Keith except for doing this on TikTok.
Yeah.
People think we're related and I know him. No, I don't. But I'm telling you what, the day he walks out of that prison, I'm going to be in California.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I am.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. 1 second. I don't know what happened. The phone call got disconnected. It stopped.
Yeah, this might be it.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
You have a prepaid call
Yeah,
from.
it
Your baby boy.
I can't with that.
The
That's the
Pleasant
baby
Valley
boy?
State Prison.
It says your baby boy, it says.
Call and your call will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this.
He said it's a recording. That's neat. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's you know, Jeff brought up like focusing on resentments. It made me go back to when I first started doing this step.
Right.
You know, because you know, resentments is a big part of this step because I didn't realize how much I held on to them because those resentments like dictated and determined not just how I treated myself, but other people. Like for instance, you know, my stepfather, you know, physically abused me and molested me. Like I resented him like throughout my life, and like I carried that pain and that pain and that trauma. Beliefs not only in myself but in other people as well, and you know the resentments I had towards my mother. And, like I felt like if I was willing to give those up, to get like forgiveness, like to say, okay, I have to let these resentments go. Like I felt like that I was allowing them to, like I was saying that it was okay that what they did to me was okay. You know, that my mother asked me to take the life of her boyfriend at the age of 22, you know, we both came to prison for it. Like, she called me that night, she drove out there, picked me up, put the gun in my hand, like, you know, I kept telling myself, man, if I forgive them for this, or if I let go of this resentment, it means that it's letting them off the hook for what they did to me. And I think we developed that ideology, that belief system that early on, based on things that happened to us as children, that they start flowing into other areas of our life where it might even be something as minute as an argument where this guy owed me $2 from the store or whatever, and he just didn't pay me, and he walks by me, smiles and laughs like everything's okay. Like,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
it's all these triggers that relate to other experiences in your life that have nothing to do with it on the surface, but the root of it goes back to that. And I think to let go of those resentments, it's like it was hard for me to identify, but once I did, all those big resentments started helping me see that the smaller ones, they will impact your life in a harmful way if you allow them to get bigger. So now when we get into, you know, in this recovery, when we get into an argument or something with somebody or a conflict, like right away, the spiritual part of us, like the conscientiousness of having a, you know, connection with the world around us, with God, is we want to go apologize to that person. We want to talk about it. Like, we know now, instead of using reverse of violence or passive aggressiveness, we know that the thing that we're going to hold ourselves accountable to, we know that the step is, in order to nip this in the bud, we want to go talk about it. And, you know, Jeff can tell you, you know, we had a recent conversation about this, you know, where we had seen two guys snap at each other, and we both knew right away that the best thing to do is to go have that conversation before you don't have that conversation, and then time goes by, and then it turns into a resentment that causes you to act a certain way around him or other people or what have you. Like,
Right.
So for me, that that is significant for this stuff.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh.
I do have something more on this.
No, go ahead.
One part that was really difficult with this is once I uncovered those resentments from the past, and I forgave them, I let them go. So I have a good relationship with my dad, but now all this shit was fresh in my mind, and all this stuff was uncovered, and it was still raw, and so he would do these things that would re-trigger me, and I would instantly go like things that probably wouldn't have bothered me before. I had come to this realization, and I would get so mad because it was re-triggering. It was like, and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
and he like. So he's aware of it now, and when he continues to do it and it's re-triggering me, it made me question. I asked my sponsor, I was like, did I even forgive him? Because I'm still getting mad when he's doing this. And he gave me this thing that it was so powerful. He's like, sometimes we just have to accept the people that they are the way they are. And when he said that, it was just like, I was able to kind of just like let it go, because they may not ever change or be ready to change, but when we're allowing like that stuff to still anger us, I think it comes with an expectation. It's like that now that you know and you're still doing it, like what the fuck? How are you still doing this when you know how it is? But I think they're not even aware that they're doing it, or it's just part of like their nature, or however you want to look at it. But when he told me that, like, it just sometimes we just have to, like, we can inform them that this is how this made us feel in the past, and but at some point, if they're not going to change, we just have to accept them for that is who they are. And when that kind of clicked, I was able to kind of just like let it go.
Right.
And it didn't trigger me anymore. Or at least not in the same way.
Yeah, they talk about, and one of the workshops is CGA. This one falls under victims workshop, and in a lot of ways for us that hold on to that resentment, we have, we identify, even though victims create other victims, and when you identify that cycle and you start realizing that is, that's what we do. People that have been hurt other people. And for people that do take on that victim mentality, there's three attitudes. There's the person that says, I cannot forgive. There's the person that says, I will not forgive. And then there's the person that says, I have forgiven. So we're going to talk about the first two, the cannot attitude. This person who's most likely has many unresolved questions and cannot understand how or why someone could do such a thing. Often even people who are more inclined to be open-minded and have with them a capacity to seek forgiveness. Generally, they are optimistic and spiritually connected. A more accurate description for them might be, if I could understand, I can forgive. For the person with the will not attitude, there is no reasonable explanation for any action. They have a firm and vindictive approach, holding their opinion regardless of any potential for understanding. Often people in this group have unresolved resentments. They are often pessimistic and emotional turmoil, needing time and support while grieving. Sometimes through God's grace and intervention, they become open for forgiveness. So for me, I was that person where I held on to that I cannot forgive, because like I said, if I forgive this person, this just means that I've allowed this person to feel like it's okay to do what they did to me, that they're going to hurt me again. And that's because that rooted back to my childhood where I was victimized. You know, it didn't give me the right to victimize other people throughout my life, but that's the attitude that I took on, where if I allow somebody to do that to me or let that go, then I'm going to be further victim. So that gave me the self-justification to hold on to that and victimize that person, you know, to hold on to that resentment. So, and it's a hard thing to let go because, like Todd said, even though he's out there in the world today, and like Tommy said, like, you know, it's, these issues are still going to come up where you're still going to feel resentment towards. And it doesn't have to be resentments towards a specific person. It could be resentments toward the parole office. It could be resentments towards the towards authority in general, towards the job force, towards life, period, towards circumstances that you're out there. You should have more opportunities. It's that attitude of looking at yourself as, hey, I'm the victim here, like, you know. And I think it's important to be aware, like you said, Todd, to let that stuff go and to snap back and reevaluate. You know, just because you're not in here no more and you're out there, like, life is still going to happen. You know.
Yep. Sure is. Man, I agree right there. I was tripping on them resentments. That's
One thing about resentments too is for us guys, we got to keep in mind is usually resentments is caused by people that are closest to us. So what does that say? What does that tell us early on? Like, if the people that closest to us are willing to hurt us,
yeah.
What's that say about the rest of the world? So.
Yep.
It's hard to let that go.
Man, it's a trip, man. The forgiveness too, just being able to forgive, you know. Some people hold a lot of resentments today to where they're not, like, it'll take them a long time to forgive or even let go, you know. I've been like experiencing some of that, and then I don't know, sometimes you're blessed and it's like with everything we've been through and all the growth that we've grown and in the journey we've been on and our change, it's like it's made us stronger to either bend the knee or to say, hey, I'm sorry, or forgive, you know. And when I notice, like, out here, there's just some people that can't do that, you know. And but I'm just grateful that I got the strength to do it, you know.
Are there things in your past that you think about that you still get angry about? Like, you still things that happen in your past or your life? Are there still things that you get angry about?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't hold on to that anger no more. I used to, like, you know, I'd hang on to it and hold a grudge and I'd hold the resentments. But today, no. Today I don't hang on to that. I let that go. Because you know what? It's like I'm not gonna let that control my thought process or my life, you know. And we've learned, like I learned too, like in my change too. It's like that's just gonna further anger or further resentment, and it's best just to let it go and forgive and move on. You know, sometimes, like when you're writing those letters and everything too, you're writing them letters, and you're not, like, you know, it's not for like they're gonna forgive you or they're not or whatever. They're gonna have their own say and however they feel about it. But you're basically doing that, you know, for yourself too, you know, basically, you know, and everything's sincere, and it's just like you just got to roll with what it is, you know. You're either gonna forgive or not, but you still, you know, you got to let it go. You can't let it like occupy your life and your you know.
And you know what's crazy? It's like in this process of change.
You have 60 seconds remaining. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
In these first few years, you never look at yourself as being able to say, you know what, one day I'm going to be able to forgive this. Like for me, like my stepfather, what he did to me, like I never got to the point where I could, like if he was here today in front of me, or if he was on this yard, I could exist with him out here on this prison yard. Because what he did to me would not trigger me enough whatsoever for me to go out there and do something harmful to this man.
Call and your telephone will be monitored and recorded.
And I can't
You have
believe
60
that
seconds
I
remaining.
reached that point in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's,
No, I know. I can't either. I can't even believe. I can't believe you are me. I know. It's
yeah, they understand.
I give it up to God too. I just got to give it to Him, and you know what? That's between Him and God, you know. But yeah, I mean, to actually be at that point right now, like you're talking about, that's a miracle all in itself. You know.
Yep.
Especially the lives we lived in, you know. Yeah, that's man.
That was a lot just to hear that from Keith, to say that he would be able
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know the story, you know. Jamie, yes. Wow. And Jamie's here. That's Keith's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay.
What happened? Oh, call back?
Yeah, he's going back.
Incarcerated individual
Yep.
at the Pleasant Valley State Prison, Coalinga, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored.
I'm glad I don't got to hear that again.
Right?
Charged for this call. To
I
accept
wish
this
they would
call,
stop this
please
every
dial
15 minutes.
5 now.
Whew.
Thank you for using Global
But
Tel Link.
we got this.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once you've done the work and you start to also take self accountability for the harm that you cause other people as well, like you know, there's no category of what crime or what harm is worse than another. Like
Yeah.
hurt for what it is, harm for what it is.
Hey, you know what? Another thing, Keith, that was hard too, bro. And the change, like categorizing stuff, you know. So that was that was something you know you got to learn and grow with too, you know. Because all those things we were taught different, you know. So, you know, you're talking about somebody that's been taught, So all that, you just gotta, like you said, you know. But
What about you,
man,
Jeff? Is there resentments that you think about that you thought you'd let go of, and when you do find yourself thinking about certain events or people in your life, do they still bring up like uneasy feelings?
well, I had a
Call.
okay. There he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Keith, yes. What about you? Do you have any resentment or?
Can you read about any painful events from your past?
No, I don't think so. I think I've kind of made peace with everything in the past, but I recognize things that start like in the present now, like a resentment starting to take place, and I'm so aware now of all of this stuff that as soon as it starts to, and I think it was already mentioned, as it starts to like show itself, I'm able to just to let it go, and I know where those things lead when you start to hold on to them. It's just not worth it. And it's like you're just giving your power away. I'm going to let something that somebody did or said, I'm just giving them power over my mind, that I'm just going to keep letting that repeat, and then let that affect.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
My emotional or mental, zone is just, that's insanity for me. Is that I may as well just give you the controls over everything I do, and That's just crazy to me. And now that I'm aware of it, when these little things start to, something somebody says or does, when it triggers me, and then I start to just, it starts to become obsessive, right? You just start to replay, like, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
They think they can do that, or blah, 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 you know? And once I recognize that, it's bam, it's right there, and I can take hold of it. And it may take a little while, but I'm able to just let it go. So I know where it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm the same way now. I think about that, and I think about, man, it's like it took me 40-something years to actually learn all these things, whether it's positive self-talk, whether it's like consequential thinking, like all of these tools, like it's like going back to infancy again and having to relearn the stuff that I was never taught but it's so much better. We're so much more equipped because, I think about Todd being out there in the community, and before we wrap up tonight, I want to tell Todd, like, you are out there, but I want you to take, if anything from tonight, I want you to walk away from this live and to think about where that growth rooted from in here, where it stemmed from in here, and how significant it still is applicable in your life out there in the community. And when you feel like things have become overwhelming, like, reach out to people that are still trying, that are transitioning from this to that. Their support, you have brothers and sisters out there in the community that are former lifers that can relate to you. You can relate to them as well. Like, you guys don't think that just because you're out there and you're trying to do the right thing and this and that you don't need to rely on other people as well for moral support or what have you, because that's what life is about. Like, it's easy to get out there. I see guys get out there. They get out there in the community and they think they did everything they needed to do to get out there, and now they're
True that. Yeah, I will take that from the night. Like this like brought a lot of things back to me, and what I'm going through too. Like sometimes I do get overwhelmed, and then I actually forget to reach out, and that's big, and I know that, and man, I'm happy that I came here tonight, and man, it's good hearing from you, and I love what everyone had to say, and I definitely I believe, and I know in my heart, bro, after all this and just doing all the groups that I've done and the change and how far I've come, that I do need this in my life, because it does help me, and I love sharing, and that's part of change too, but I definitely need to start reaching out and getting involved and staying involved.
And I do, Keith, I do have a question. Actually, Cole, I have a question for you. Someone asked, they asked how long did it take for you to get to that point? Because it's not easy, what you had just said about not letting it get to you now.
Yeah, I think. So.
Like, how long did it take you to get to that?
I've been on this, like, the 12-step journey over, like, the last year and a half. So I just recently dealt with a lot of that shit, but I guess just within that time, if I can let go of that shit from the past that drove me to do all of the stuff that happened to me directly, which drove all of my addictions and all of the crime and all of the lives that I negatively impacted, if I'm able to let that shit go, then anything anybody else says or does is like, it's nothing. I mean, it really is. It means nothing. And a lot of these things that people say to us, there's one thing Penny said that really stuck with me. For me to even value what you have to say is I have to value you as a person, value what you have to say to me. Right. Sometimes I'll ask, if somebody will say something that'll upset me, and I'll think back to that, and I'm like, I don't even give a fuck who they are as a person. Why am I going to let what they're saying affect me anyway? So
Right.
it's just like playing these types of things in my head that if you have no value really to me and my journey, I'm not going to allow anything you do or say to affect me.
Right.
But it's been recent.
Yeah.
It does, because
It's been recent.
It takes
Yeah.
a long time, and like I think about that, and you know, like I said, my change took years. Like it's taken years.
Right.
Like I'm not talking about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm talking about 10, 15 years.
Right.
So like I get it. I get it. Like the more that you're exposed and you're deeper rooted in this. Like I said, I'm going on 33 years on this number, and
Yeah.
the more that you're in this, it's so much harder to crawl out of that mentally and emotionally. So
Absolutely.
I just, God, I wish I could have figured it out a whole lot sooner. But again, like we say all the time, God has a purpose. So His timing, it's God's time. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe this was important that I needed to be here this long. You know. So. But yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up if there's no other questions. But what we do have coming on within the next 2 weeks is we will have some brothers and sisters from the community, CGA, formerly incarcerated, men and women, coming on the platform, Marge.
Okay.
Hopefully by next week we will have everybody rounded up for that.
Okay.
And so it'll be more communicative, outside community, where a lot of people in here don't realize that CGA also goes out into the community, even though it's in the Long Beach area, and they had to get permission from Richard's family, that the founder of CGA, to actually conduct these meetings out there in the community. And I've seen videos of them on my tablet, and they're beautiful to watch because all these people come from everywhere.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Okay.
And the fact that these were all formerly incarcerated men and women, ex-gang members, criminals, addicts, what have you, and they're in there and they're sharing, and it's just beautiful to see that they've taken it out into the community, and then they're making the effort to stay connected out there in the community, and to help people before they come to experience this in here, before they experience incarceration. So,
Right. And I have another girl who comes on my lives. Her husband is in Donovan, and he attends these meetings also. So she was listening in with him on the phone.
Really?
Yeah, he was on the phone, so they were listening in. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I love it. This is one group that's this covers all areas of my life and my rehabilitation in here, as far as my that whole addiction lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, Todd, we'll if you guys want to join next week, I know Jeff has other stuff that he does too. Todd, if you do want to hop in next week when we have some of the brothers and sisters from the community on,
Yes.
shout to you. We'll line you up for that as well. And I think
Okay. Yeah.
like I'd like to see you get more connected with these people, because, like I said, you got a story, bro. Like you guys, you got a story. I know you're out there living your life and doing your thing, but you also have a story that's powerful, because people love to see that. Like you said,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, I'm all in, bro. I'm all in.
by seeing you guys,
Yeah. Yeah, I know that, and I do want to share, and I'd love to be a part of this. So yeah, whenever this is possible, and just shoot me the links and all that, and then just and I'll get it down here in a minute and figure what days.
Yeah, I have
and
his
everything
number,
like that.
so I can reach out to you too now, Todd, to let him know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then, like I said, man, Jeff is another, Jeff's a good buddy of mine in here. He's insightful. So, he's getting me back into the CJ group in here to go over there with him. And, I've been out of the CJ group in here for almost a year since I came to DR, because we all got moved over here. So now I get to get back into the CJ over here. And,
Yeah, CGA was one of my favorite groups too.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
I relate.
I appreciate having you guys on.
Todd, hang on there.
We love you.
Oh.
You always make us Hollywood stars. So we love you, Margie.
I love you, Keith.
And
I'll talk to you.
yeah, you guys did awesome. And you guys, anybody, if you guys have anything lastly you want to say before we hang up, feel free to share any last thoughts. Just know that I appreciate having you guys on, and I love you guys.
All right. And Cole, thank you for joining. I appreciate you, and I'll message you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to meet you both.
Oh, thank you. But no, everything. Thanks, Keith. You always come through for me, Keith. You always make me look good.
I do. That's what we do. We gotta help each other.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
I know.
You guys have a good night. I'm gonna go hop in the shower before I call my wife.
That's right.
And I love you guys. Todd, take care out there. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right, brother. You guys, everybody, take care. Thank you very much for tonight. It was awesome.
All right, Margie.
All right. Good night, Keith.
All right,
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Good night, Jeff. Bye. Todd, you can hang on a minute. You can hang on there. Good night.
Okay.
Todd, because I have to end it with the guys, but we're still alive here until I say
Okay.
good night. Yeah. Because they just ended at this 15-minute mark. Now that they don't make any more calls back, but I wanted to thank you for joining, and we're going to do it. So we used to do this every Thursday night with the calls, but because of college now, they had to stop doing Thursdays, so we're doing it on Fridays now. So
Okay.
next week we're going to have some more people on, in the boxes. Of course, Tommy again, and I don't know who else he invited. So I told you, Keith runs the show for me, but I'm so thankful for him. He gets the questions ready. He does the invites. Like I said, we met doing the lives. I met him through someone else, and then we just clicked. And he's my co-host.
Yeah.
He wrote a couple books, right?
Yeah, I ain't read them.
Yeah, I happen to have them right next to me.
Wow.
So he has the Unleashed he has Unleashed right here. They're on Amazon actually.
Okay.
And then also this one just came out, Fiona and Finn. He did all the artwork in this book.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then he actually has another one coming out any day now. I'm waiting to get the release. I posted on my page on here. He used to send them to me. My daughter would print it out and we would send it to the editor. It got to be chaotic. So what me and his wife and Wiley's wishes did was we got together and we bought him a typewriter so that he don't have to do that anymore. So he didn't ask for the typewriter, but it just made it easier. It was just so, because he would have to, on the GTL app, he would have to send me every page of a book.
Yeah.
I would have to send it to my daughter. She would have to print it. We would have to mail it back to the prison. Then he would have to mail it to his editor. It was out of hand. This way he could just type it and send it. So,
That's awesome. That is awesome, though.
we got him the typewriter. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, you have to shoot me a picture of them, or
I will.
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll send you a picture and I'll text it to you. Now that I have your number, I could do that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so for next week, I'll send you the link again. And I have the books everything's on my YouTube, which is The Charge with Change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And MargeC, that's also me. I'm live every day on these two, but I also use that so everybody can find me also, because I just started using The Charge with Change.
Yeah.
Just when everyone, who follows.
I gotta start getting real familiar with this and how it works and everything, because I'm not really I haven't really been getting on here like to follow or try to what to press and
right.
Yeah.
So lucky you said something, because I didn't think you were here, because if you go under your name, so if you go on your profile page, like if you go on your main page, you might want to put your name in there for next week. I could even help you, but you just have to go to the page and hit edit.
Okay.
And then it'll say edit your name and just put your name.
Oh, okay.
It'll say edit, and you might want to edit your name, because it just says user 70716.
Okay.
So I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And, it just got a little confused until you said that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
I
you
didn't
want
know
to
what to
edit your
press.
name for next week.
I just happened to press the top of it right there where it said, the change within the circle. So I pressed it, and then, and it got me in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that. And then, like right now, even like when somebody texted me, I wanted to respond just real quick, and then it went off, and I didn't know how to get back on or not. But now I figured it out right now. It was like you go back to the TikTok app, you just press it, and it puts me back on with you.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool.
Yeah, but you go onto your, whatever, onto this page that you're on and just hit edit and edit the name, and you could put your real name in there.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Or if you need help, shoot me like a message tomorrow, and I'll help you out. I can help you out with it.
All right. Thank
And
you
then
very much.
we'll get you more followers so you can turn your camera on.
Yeah. I was wondering about that too. Like right in here, everybody that was here, did they press something where they become my follower too, or how does that
All
work?
they have to do is hit your page and follow it. So if whoever's in here, if you could please follow. This is Todd. I know it's hard because it doesn't show your name, but this is Todd. So yeah.
What? Where does it show they follow?
It'll show under your name. So let me check how many you have right now. Right now you only have so you're following 13 people and you have 8 followers. But you know what it could be? People like the username, I'll be honest with you, people that come in under this username usually are trolls. So they're probably afraid. Really. So you got it. So if you put a name up there, like I have the MargeC. Okay, Cindy, thank you for following. So people are starting to follow you now.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you for following him. I know who this username is. It's my friend Todd. So, and Paula, you followed. See, they're starting to follow you now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for following. So
thank you.
under MargeC, so you can do that, and we'll get you more followers. And the more you come in, you'll get more.
All right.
Lisa followed. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we need to get so that in the next coming weeks we can have his camera on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can see me on.
Yep, so we can see you.
Yeah.
So, okay. But yeah, so it's really
everybody too.
I remember your name. That's my son-in-law's name.
Oh,
In fact, when
Todd?
I put you in the phone, I was like, "Oh, I got to put Keith's friend because I'll be like texting you stuff or send it to my son-in-law." I'm like, because I don't know too many Todds. I just know my son-in-law. So, so I appreciate that you came in. Oh, Matt, thank you for following. So, well, you know what, Todd? I'm going to end it. So I will see you. Just shoot me a message.
Okay.
And I can help you out.
definitely
I'll
will.
let you know what we're doing. We're going to do it next Friday night again.
Okay.
At 8:30, 5:30 your time.
All right. You have a wonderful night, and everyone that came here too, have a wonderful night. God bless.
Thank you. And I'll be in touch with you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, everyone. So it's Friday night. We can go. Let's go over to the other app and we'll say goodnight there. Let's go over to Favorite It real quick. We'll go over to Favorite It. So I'll see everybody over there. All right, everyone. I'm going to end this now. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Paula, and thank you for everything. Favorite It After Dark. That's right. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have a good weekend. We're going to go over to Favorite It. Hey, Amy. There you go. We'll go over to Favorite It. So if you have the Favorite It app, we're going over there under MargeC. Not the charge with change. I haven't used that in a while. So let's go over to MargeC over Favorite It. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I will see everyone on Monday. But MargeC might pop on. We might do a poolside We might do a poolside this weekend. So keep your notifications on. We might do that this weekend. All right. Take care. Bye.